Because nothing costs $1 anymore. So you 2 pennies each time you go up $1. Louise, okay, you do the fucking math in your head. So there was this story about how scientists were able to take pictures of a black hole, and I wanted to show you that picture right now. Can you go to my screen? They were able to capture this picture of a black hole, and it looks just like Senator Luis Muñoz at the Guam legislature. Photo courtesy of GuamPDN.com. Those brilliant scientists over there. Speaking of scientists at GuamPDN, fattest scientist of all time, Rendrati Celis Linciaco, 31 days brining since her unethical ass decided not to publish a story about her friend, Jim Herbert, past chairman of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, running into the Akansa Mall with his car after a Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association charity ball, reversing, hitting a bus stop, injuring a dude who was in it, and then tried to run off before some Good Samaritans stopped him from hurting anybody else, and the PDN decided not to run it, like they decided not to run the story about Rendrati's own editor, David Crisostomo at the time, being a drug dealer, dealing drugs out of the PDN, dealing drugs out of the federal public defender's house. And you would think that these are newsworthy items, certainly more newsworthy than some 18-year-old kid getting busted for having weed. Just ridiculous. Just like a few days before the legalization of marijuana on this island. The PDN thought that would be newsworthy, and not that Jim Herbert, past chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, hit someone and injured somebody because he was drunk off his Christine Calvo ass. So there's that. And let me look at my lineup real quick. We got the fat picture of David Crisostomo up, right, Chelu? Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move it along then to let's actually let me. Speaking of fat people, there was a Joanne Brown sighting. She was actually rescued today in the lagoon waters off of Cocos, where it's deep enough for her to birth at. And hold on. Don't go to my screen yet, Chalu. Hold on 1 second. Let me set this up here. Okay, go ahead and go to my screen. These people, wait. Go ahead and go to my screen. Joanne was in the waters, and she was saved by these fishermen. You see that? Oh my God, that poor thing. Those are some strong fucking dudes, okay? They were able to pull that fat ass up onto that boat. The boat didn't capsize. It's a strong boat too. Like, very mechanically made in case Joanne Brown gets tossed off the boat, the big ship somewhere, the Matson ship somewhere, falls her happy ass into the water. There's a tsunami all over the place. And they were able to rescue her with those, I'm going to guess, titanium nets. But all joking aside, in all seriousness, thank you to those fishermen or those boaters, whoever they were, for saving that pig. There was a pig just swimming in the water off of, I think that's Cocos Island, and they saw it, and they went back and they got the pig. And okay, now hopefully that pig is at someone's house breathing. They're giving it a good meal, because it was exercising in the water all day, and so or they let it back into the wild or something. I really hope that pig didn't end up on some dinner plate. Come on. Please. I just ate spare ribs from Linda's tonight. So, on to our animal kick. Earlier today, my cousin Ray posted a lost dog ad on Facebook. And can we go to that? Can we go to Sumo the Doberman? It's his brother, my cousin Dave's dog, Sumo. They call him a red Doberman. I guess the color is like really brown. What's the number on to call, Chalu? Dave's number? 777-2668. If you see this dog, please return him. This is the dog that helps my cousin Mana's kids, and this is my cousin Dave's dog. I mean, this is a family dog. Please, if you know where this dog is, there's even a reward that Ray offers. Is it $200? Oh, well, there's a reward, $200. Reward if found. Sorry, I just made up that $200 thing. Reward if found, 777-2668. He just went missing today. So please, if you see this dog running anywhere, if you see anybody who has this dog, please call 777-2668. Do they just want the dog back? They don't care about the police or anything like that. They don't want to get the police involved. Just they want the dog back. 777-2668. There's a reward if he's found. No questions asked. 777-2668. Last night, or actually was really early this morning when I was at the gym, I was working out and I came across this heartbreaking story. I was a big fan of Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I'm a bigger fan of his wife, Beth. Beth was like she had the huge tits, and she was super tough. And then, when they would catch somebody, some thug in Hawaii, like super tough or whatever, and she would reduce these guys to tears. She would talk to them about their life and what their parents think, and sometimes their story is no one loves me. This is why my life is like this, and then Beth would always be like, well, baby, in this car ride, I love you. She called them baby. She would tell them that she loves them. These are complete strangers, and Beth was just the coolest. And so there's a story about how Beth is dying now. She was diagnosed with cancer in 2017, and she was hospitalized recently. And according to Dog, she just wants to be at home. So let's go to my screen, and we'll play the YouTube video on this.
Dwayne Chapman, also known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, shared just how strong his wife Beth is despite her recent diagnosis of stage 4 lung cancer. My baby has cancer and she is fighting like hell, the 66-year-old WGN America star said through tears. I have cried a lot over this because Beth is my everything. Beth is no stranger to the physical and emotional tolls battling cancer can take. In 2017, she revealed that she was diagnosed with stage 2 throat cancer. She underwent surgery to remove a plum-sized tumor from her throat and chemotherapy treatments. Trending, Lowe's donates all the supplies to build wheelchair ramp for firefighter before he comes home in November. The Chapmans were delighted to tell their fans that she had been declared cancer-free. There is a God. This could be a miracle. This could be a healing, Dwayne said in her body did not react well to the chemo in 2017, which, according to Dwayne, has guided her decision to refuse the same treatment for her more recent diagnosis. Dwayne shared that it has been one of the most difficult obstacles he has ever had to overcome. Despite all of the obstacles I have overcome, this is by far the biggest test of my life, and mark my words, I will not let her die, he told Daily Mail TV. She is my rock and my bodyguard. I will do everything I can to keep her here. Related, Inside Edition, host to undergo surgery after observant fan spots cancerous lump, but despite the grim outcomes that could unfold, Dwayne said that his wife's determination to beat her cancer continues to amaze him. He said, if this...
So Beth is, according to several articles, not doing well. She was released. She was hospitalized last week, and she just wants to go home to live out her final days in peace at home. I had no idea her last name was Chapman, by the way. I just knew her as Beth the Bounty Hunter. And I just wanted to share that with you all. Cancer sucks. And this is, I love Beth. Like, she was a big part of uh, my 20s. And yeah, I just thought, anyway, that was really sad. So, um, and then, and then, in order to like not feel so bad about that whole Beth thing, some people sent me some. This is such funny shit. Are we back on my screen? Okay. Okay. Check this out. Check this out. Wait, let me just increase this. Can you see this? Anyways, I like my outfit, ALPHEAT, last night. Response from Xander: I know you're not trying to say outfit. I just know you're not. I took these with my iPhone X camera. Quality so surreal. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio painted them. Not to be confused with award-winning actor Leonardo da Vinci. Oh, this was a stupid one. It's a dad joke. Are men obligated, HABLA, gated, to pay for everything in a relationship? Boy, I thought you were speaking Spanish. Don't y'all hate when teachers use to coffin skate your phone? When you hug a guy and you smell his colon, but you can still smell his colon on your pillows, even though he's not there. I love when I can smell a guy's colon as he walks by. Oh shit, I smell his colon now. This is fucking awesome. This one's for Guam. You might as well come back to the apartment. Jez won't be here until 6. Might as well? Well, I won't be getting there until she gets here. You know the saying isn't might as well. What is the saying? Might as well, just in case you didn't know that. You'll like her. She's really smart. She's doing psychology at uni. Oh, really? Yeah, she was cutting up brains and stuff. She's doing depression and silver side at the moment. Depression and what? Silver side. Like when someone kills themselves. These fucking young people are so fucking dumb, I swear to God. Very frustrated lady next to me at GameStop. My son Kevin wants fork knife for his birthday, but no place has it in stock. Me. I think it's Fortnite. Her. No, it's definitely fork knife. Sorry, Kevin. I tried. You awake, boy? Yes or no to hanging out today? I can't today. I have to finish some errands. Who is Aaron? And why is there more than one Aaron? Aaron. Why y'all acting like the world just now getting messed up? What about slavery? The Hall of Cost. Pick up a book. Bon appetit. I've been trying new ways to relax. Currently, I'm into essential oil diffusers and incest. You can always come hold me till you leave, even though I'll be comatose in like 2 seconds. Comatose, that killed me. Why? Comatose, did I spell it right? Comatose, oh God, my life is a lie. Looks can be this evening, boy, I tell ya. What school you went to? Why? You look for meal your. I look what? You look for meal your. Huh? I don't know what a 4 meal your is. You look like I know you, damn. You know me. What is your attitude towards cannibals? Like when you jump in the pool, you make a huge splash and you win the competition. Fucking A. Why assume when you can just ask? Holy shit. This thing goes on and on and on. It's so fucking funny. And then I found. What? Where's this shit at? The fuck? Oh, there. My brother sent this one to me. I reposted it. This is okay. So I'm guilty. I'm guilty of this autocorrect shit, especially with iPhones. And this, I'm always getting fucked up. I'm at Home Depot. No, do you need more paint? Yes, I probably need 2 more gallons. What colors? I forgot the name. Chocolate Shark. I just asked for that, and the guy laughed at me for 5 minutes. How is our pregnant little daughter? Mom, how did you know? I meant perfect. I know this may sound dumb, but it's placenta considered a gluten. Was thinking of making that for chicken. Placenta like from a human. Oh shit, wait, what did I just miss? I just missed there. Mashed potatoes or bitch goblet potatoes tonight? What the fuck? Oh my god, butt hurt potatoes. Bit hurt. Buttered. Are you doing the Nutcracker this year? Yep, I'm auctioning kids tomorrow. Suctioning kids. Ridiculous auto cat rectal. Birdseed. I am auditioning kids for play. I need to lose weight. I can't stand being fat. LOL moo. I meant mom. Oh my god. I just laughed so hard I farted. Can you make me have some more boobsicles? No, I meant boobsicles. Boobsicles, god donkey. So that's 3 orders of boobsicles and 1 holy donkey. Anything else? I got your package in the mail. What is it? Blurry dick. Blu-ray disc. Haha, autocorrect. What movie? An old favorite. Finding Nympho. Okay. I'll tell you a little secret about autocorrect. So, because I use the Gboard thing, you know, like I'm not into the whole like tapping the god, like my fucking thumbs are too fat for the stupid keyboard. So, so I use Gboard, right? It's just so much more efficient. And this stupid fucking Apple autocorrect. The secret is that it will always produce, like when it's like, you know, it's trying to figure out between like several words that it could be, it produces like the most used word. So if you're typing in finding Nemo and it comes up with finding nympho, you use the word nympho a lot. Or anyway, on to something more serious. Not that laughing isn't a serious thing because it's necessary for our health, and apparently when you laugh too hard, you can lose so much weight that you fart. In Slovakia, there's this woman who has been fighting corruption almost all of her adult life, and it's a country where it's not like America, okay? It's not like Guam, where like us loudmouths can say anything we want, almost anything we want, as long as it's the truth, right? And we can feel relatively safe and secure. But this is a maverick of her time who was fighting corruption, organized crime, the government, all this shit, right? And she just on March 30 was elected president of the country. Let's go to her footage.
Samozrejme, ja som kandidát, ktorý má istý ohľad k menšinám rôzneho druhu a veľmi si vážim aj voličov národnostných menšín. To, čo chcem ponúknuť a čím ich chcem osloviť, sú práve rovina hodnôt a rovina tém, ktoré ponúkam. Tá súvisí sa témou férovosti našej krajiny a tých ďalších oblastí, o ktorých hovorím. Hľadajme teda, čo nás spája. Povížme spoluprácu na lepšom Slovensku nad boje o osobné zásluhy. Pozvime ďalších ľudí, poďme za ideami a hodnotami, ktoré nás v týchto voľbách spojili.
Remarkable story of a person who fought the establishment and won by the overwhelming majority of her people who were tired of the bullshit. And her message was, let's unify, not for the sake of the capital interests or the corporate interests, but for the sake of the interests of all people. And she wanted to represent minorities, and she wanted to speak up for those who didn't have a voice. And so our hats off to Zukova, what the fuck is her name? Zuzana Kaputova, the newly elected president of Slovakia. This issue on corruption is so deep-seated in our government that whenever we're done with an election and then stories come about the people who we elect, especially those who we put our trust in and gave our votes to, who were high vote getters in the previous election, and then we find out about some very corrupt interests that may be involved. And in the case of Senator Amanda Shelton, who I believe came in number 2, if I'm not mistaken, in the senatorial elections. She had such promise. There's that word. The state of our island is promising and sleeping. Senator Amanda Shelton held such huge promise because she represented a new generation. She's a millennial, right? But despite what you might consider, what you might have thought you were voting for, the idealism of a fresh new age, we just got more of the same, because Kandit News looked into the campaign contributions and expenditures reports of some of the senators, and when we came across Amanda Shelton's, we saw one entry for a fundraiser at the VIP Chinese restaurant on October 16, 2018, that racked in $17,345 or $375 or something like that in contributions in one day. VIP restaurant has a seating capacity of no more than 150. In order to pull in $17,300 some dollars, she had to bring in some 3,600 people to her fundraiser to pay $50 a piece. Now, this was a lunch fundraiser, so unless lunch lasted about 30 hours long on October 16, 2018, there's no fucking way that she pulled in that much money. So we tried to get a hold of the senators today. We were able to talk to someone on her staff. Let's roll that footage now. It's at. I'm reviewing her 2018 election campaign contributions and expenditures report that I received from the Guam Election Commission.
Okay.
And in that report, under a part 3, there is a contribution of $17,375 from a VIP lunch fundraiser at the VIP Chinese restaurant on October 16, 2018.
Okay.
And there's no listing of who the donors are for that one fundraiser.
Okay.
Okay? Is there a reason that there's no listing?
Sorry, I'm not. I was not part of her campaign team. Sorry, it's $11,375. Am I correct?
No, $17,375.
Okay.
The reason I'm asking and I'm giving you this amount is because this was a $50 fundraiser,
Right.
and if I do the math correctly, that means that there were somewhere along the lines of nearly 3,600 people who went to the VIP Chinese restaurant on October 16, 2018 for this fundraiser. Would that be correct?
Oh.
At $50 a pop, at $17,375. I'm only asking because if, according to the VIP Chinese restaurant, there's a restaurant seating limit of 150 people. So I'm wondering how the senator reported contributions of $17,375 without any roster of contributors in this one VIP Chinese restaurant fundraiser on October 16, 2018. And then my next question is whether that money, in fact, is money from gambling interests.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm making a note of it, and I'll go ahead and send her a note. And how can she if she needs to get back with you?
She can call our office at 979 News.
News.
That's 6397 or 922 6397.
6397. Okay.
Yeah, there's another, Evelyn, there's another entry here under corporate contributors. There is the largest amount that she's received is $1,000 from Guam Music Inc. on the same date, October 16, 2018. That's the same date as that VIP fundraiser. And Guam Music Inc. is the parent company for a whole bunch of Liberty machines. There's also a contribution from Pitera Inc., $500. JMC Equipment, $100. She seems to have some sort of interest in Andy's Rent-A-Car for $1,000. Tech Evo for $200. WM Engineering Services for $500. She seems to have very rooted gambling interests.
Okay. Okay, I'm making note. I'll go ahead and give her this information.
Okay.
And she can reach you at 979-639. Correct?
Or 922-6397. Yes, and please let her know that I'm also going to be asking her, since she voted against adult use cannabis, the adult use cannabis bill on moral grounds, why she's accepting gambling donations if she's on that moral high ground. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
You have a great day, and give my regards to the senator and all her gambling money. So Senator Amanda Shelton did not call us back today. We left a message with her. We left a message with her office. We called her cell phone. She does not appear, at least today, to want to answer these questions about where she got that money from. However, in the listing of corporate donors, it does show that big money comes from big gambling. And I bring this up not because I'm against gambling, though I am against Liberty machines. And if you go onto my Facebook page, and I believe it's also on Kandit's Facebook page, you'll see a petition that we started on change.org. Please sign that petition. It's to get rid of Liberty Machine game rooms on this island, which are the bastion of just these game rooms are tearing families apart. People are entering them, spending their entire paychecks, spending all the money they got from their role, and then causing all of these problems with robberies throughout our island that are drug related. These game rooms are at the center of that criminal activity. And Senator Amanda Shelton's family owns some of these game rooms. Senator Amanda Shelton's family is a big part of this industry, of this legal gambling industry that is only legal so long as the legislature, which she is a member of, says that it can be legal. These are poker machines, through and through. These are the very things that caused so much strife for the people of Guam in the 70s and the early 80s, and it was why the legislature back then got rid of them. It's why the people of Guam voted several times to end gambling on this island, yet those Liberty machines made it through. These are owned by her grandmother's brother, Gil Shinihara, and they funded her campaign, clearly in the campaign contributions and expenditures report, and she is hiding $17,000 in contributions from nameless donors that should amount to 3,600 different people at $50 a pot on October 16, 2018, and her office and she refuse to answer any questions about that. This is a source of corruption on our island, and she needs to be called out on it. So if you see Senator Amanda Shelton, you tell her she's full of shit, and she needs to answer these questions. And that the next time she gets on her moral high horse about adult use cannabis not being good for the moral fiber of this island, ask her, yeah, well, what the fuck about those Liberty Machine game rooms that your family owns and operates, that you make money out of, and that you receive campaign contributions for in order to win your election? That's Senator Amanda Shelton. That is the real Amanda Shelton, the person that so many people voted for but didn't know about this side of her. And we'll continue to look at all of the senators, not just for gambling interests, but for any more hypocrisy and any more lies that they want to tell the people of Guam. The corruption on our island is astounding. And it brings us to a story that Kandit is following very closely, and that is the lawsuit that Matson Navigation, which has entrenched financial interests in several senatorial, gubernatorial campaigns in the Guam Chamber of Commerce itself, in order to muscle out its only competitor, APL, American President Lines, which is the only other shipping company that provides services to this island. In Matson's filings in federal court in Washington, D.C., in its November 18, 2018 lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Transportation in order to muscle out APL, Matson itself admits that they need APL to be shut down because since APL came to Guam, they've offered significantly lower prices. This is a quote from their own filings. Significantly lower prices than Matson, creating an unfair competitive advantage for APL, which is absurd because Matson still owns 70% of the market. Now, Johnny Rosario, my partner in crime, was able to catch up with the Guam Chamber of Commerce today because we've looked and looked and looked, and we can't find one damn thing that the Chamber of Commerce has done that has been meaningful to end the Jones Act restrictions that keep Matson so powerful, not just in Guam, but also in the CNMI, the other territories, and in Hawaii, where there are huge political and corporate interests just swimming between Matson and the congressional powers that be, including our own Madeline Bordallo, who for years was on the take for money from Matson. But we got a hold of Johnny. Johnny got a hold of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to cue Johnny up to give us a live report and then play some of the footage. One sec. Play some of the footage that she got from Kathy Castro, president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce.
Hi.
Buenas.
Hi.
How's Jigo?
It's Jigo.
It's Jigo? You had to take the helicopter there?
Make this louder.
I don't, is it the one with that
I can't hear you.
Is it the one with that pad thing, that touchpad thing?
There you go. Okay, there.
Your age? Well, at least your age is not showing, Chalu.
I know.
Okay.
I get it from my mom and my dad.
Tell us about Matson. No, tell us about the Guam Chamber of Commerce and what happened today.
We've been trying for a week, 2 weeks now, trying to get somebody on the phone, leaving messages, calling. No answers. So we decided we were gonna rush down there at 4:30, and hopefully we would catch somebody, and we did.
Who'd you catch?
The president of her name is Kathy Castro. She's
Okay.
the president of the Chamber of Commerce.
And she granted you an interview, right?
She did.
Okay, so
She
what,
did.
in a nutshell, and then we'll play these. We'll play 4 different videos that we have, where we covered a wide range of topics regarding Matson and its prices and APL. But in a nutshell, tell us about
Let
it.
me just say, Troy, that if you Google Guam Chamber of Commerce, this is what comes up. It says, Guam Chamber of Commerce. The Guam Chamber of Commerce exists to provide a forum to promote the economic and social environmental well-being of the community through its membership. The chamber seeks to develop, encourage, and promote and protect the general business interests of Guam.
Business interests, huh? Well,
Yeah.
let's hear some of that business interest. Let's play, Chelo. Let's play the first video with between Johnny and Kathy Castro.
In the event Matson does push out APL, that leaves us with higher prices on the shelves, and so Guam Chamber of Commerce has nothing.
Well, I really don't think that that's going to be the case. And really, again, the reasons why the carriers, we're very blessed to live here on Guam, right? But sometimes, we're so far away, and it's difficult to get product here, right?
Right.
Because we just don't have enough. Sometimes we just don't have enough product to move in and out of Guam, and so we're just really happy that both domestic carriers are supporting our Guam community.
So
And-
Chamber is aware that Matson is trying to push APL out.
No, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, it is all about the market,
Right.
right? I don't think it's really about one company over the other. It's whether or not the market can sustain the services that they can provide.
Right.
Right? So, I don't, I just feel like if a company cannot make it in that particular industry, right, then they're going to have to move away, or they're going to have to, go find someplace else where they can, because everybody is, if you're going to stay in business, you're for profit, right? You have
Right.
to make money, right?
Yes, but if APL
So-
does charge less, way less, and Matson does say that in their filings.
So what happens is then it's up to the businesses to make that decision.
Okay.
Right? So like if you were company A, right, and you're saying, well, if you're looking at this and you're looking, oh, okay, APL, you charge less, then it's up to you
As
as
a bit-
as
right.
the company to decide where you want to give your business.
Okay, well,
That's really all that it's about. And the lawsuit, again, is about, it's all on, it involves those particular companies, and it doesn't involve the Guam Chamber of Commerce.
Doing next to nothing about Matson's attempt to regain the shipping monopoly on Guam. And we have the case number. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes. I'm understanding that there is a lawsuit,
Okay.
but it really has nothing to do with the Guam Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
So that's between the two parties that are involved.
Second question. Will the Chamber of Commerce file a friend of the court brief against Matson and in favor of who Matson is suing, the U.S. Department of Transportation?
No.
No. Okay. What is the Chamber's position on Matson's own filings that argue that U.S. DOT should discontinue APL's presence in Guam because APL offers significantly lower prices than Matson, and therefore APL presents unfair competition to Matson?
Well, Matson and APL are both members of the chamber,
Okay.
and so we support both members.
Okay.
And again, going back to the lawsuit, that's between those particular parties that are involved, and we have nothing to do with the lawsuit.
Okay. What is the chamber doing to protect consumers against the predatory movements of the large corporation trying to muscle out competition through lobbying and the government and paying off politicians?
Okay. You know, we believe in free market, right? And so it's all about having the businesses decide on who they want to work with. What is good that we have competition right now. We have a competition with our domestic carriers, which are Matson and APL. And so now our customers have our businesses can choose between which carriers they would like to use. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for Guam, and it's a good thing for the businesses so that they can, decide how they want to spend their money.
Right.
So again, we support free enterprise, and we don't interfere with how businesses do their business.
Okay.
What we try to do is we try to make it so that there are laws in place that support businesses, that support people, that if they want to create a business, support entrepreneurial activity.
Right.
And that's what we're here for.
Oh, Johnny was just saying her tattoo looks gangster. So, and so was that interview. That interview with Kathy Castro, it was done on the fly. And Johnny had a few questions to ask her, among them whether the chamber was going to file a friend of the court brief in defense of the U.S. Department of Transportation, basically in defense of APL remaining as a competitor in this market, because without APL, Matson would have a monopoly. And so Kathy Castro responded saying that this is just, it's between Matson and APL. And Johnny asked, well, if this was really about the market, this would be market forces, but this is an action that Matson is asking the government to take to muscle out APL. So what does the Chamber of Commerce think about that? And the chamber said that they don't take a position on things like that. Is that right? Which is just absolute bullshit. And we'll get to how this conversation ropes into the minimum wage issue, which the Chamber of Commerce always gets involved in, always has its greedy little hands in. And we're going to call Senator Jocelyn Augustine about that now. So thank you so much, Chella. Is there anything you want to add to this report?
No, just that. Just everybody needs to wake up and realize that this does affect us. It's very important we all get involved, because none of the leaders are doing it, and that's because their pockets are lined by Matson.
And you're continuing the research on that and following the money on that.
Yes, we're not done. We just got started.
That's the ledger you keep these days, right?
Yes.
Well, this time you'll keep a ledger on that.
Yeah, we need to go down the line with the monopoly, Troy.
Yeah.
Not only Matson, but there's also the airlines. There's a lot of companies that have a monopoly here, and that's because the politicians' pockets are lined by these companies. So there's a couple companies on the list.
We look forward to hearing that report. Thank you so much, Johnny. Live.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Chelu. Okay. So that was Johnny Rosario live with us about the report that she prepared, about the interview that she conducted with Catherine Castro, who is the president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Do I look at camera 1 or camera 2? Oh, camera 1. The interview that she did with the Guam Chamber of Commerce earlier today, where she asked her a bunch of things, including the Chamber's position on monopolies. The Chamber just said that, of course, they promote competition, et cetera, et cetera. They said a lot of nothing, and we didn't expect anything more than that. The reason that Kandit News is, really indignant about what the Chamber said was because despite them saying that they don't get involved in these issues, the Chamber, as we know, very much gets involved in these issues. If we just did a very quick Google search of the Chamber, and wait, don't go to my screen yet because I don't want people to see my favorited websites and shit. So we'll put Guam Chamber. You can Google this right now. Guam Chamber of Commerce plus minimum wage. Okay, you can go to my screen now. Chamber of Commerce stresses stance the minimum wage increase. June 10, 2014. Statement from the Guam Chamber of Commerce on the minimum wage. July 14, 2017. The truth about minimum wage topic at chamber meeting. June 24, 2014. Senator St. Augustine considers raising minimum wage to $9.25 an hour, and the Guam Chamber of Commerce weighs in 5 hours ago. On the same day that the Guam Chamber of Commerce is telling us that they do not get involved in issues involving, well, the economy, which is ridiculous because of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, they weighed in on the minimum wage increase, which is something that through the years, time and time again, whenever any senator says we would like to raise the minimum wage, the Guam Chamber of Commerce gets involved, and they are so against it. And they talk about the economy, how this is going to hurt jobs. I don't understand how increasing people's wages is going to hurt jobs, especially since, according to Moody's, the economy on Guam has been enjoying an upswing in economic growth greater than 2% every single year, which is hyper growth, anywhere from 2 to 6% every 6 years. Hyper growth going on in the Guam economy. Do we feel it in our pockets? No, but we do feel it at the gas pump, and we feel it at the grocery stores, where everything has been going up thanks to shipping costs, and Matson wants to make prices go up even further by muscling out their only competitor and becoming a monopoly again on this island. Now, on the minimum wage increase, we were fortunate enough to speak with Senator Joe St. Augustine earlier, and he agreed to take our call on the minimum wage. Let's give him a call tonight. I hope he's still awake. Because I told him we'll call him an hour ago. Shit, I think he went to sleep. Hold on.
Hi, did you call?
Wait, let me try on WhatsApp. Damn. Okay, so the senator probably went to sleep because I told him I would call him an hour ago, and he has to wake up early for all the Matai run for Saturday. But we don't need to talk to him to tell him about what he's trying to do. So the senator put it out into the community that he is looking at introducing legislation to increase the minimum wage from $8.25 an hour to $9.25 an hour. And already the Guam Chamber of Commerce is making some waves about it, saying that, that's not going to be good for the economy and blah, blah, all the bullshit that they ramble about. What the Guam Chamber of Commerce doesn't already tell you is if you look at the sectors, the what do you call those things? If you look at the current employment survey on this island, you're going to see that the great majority of the workers on this island are making wages that are below $9 an hour. And so for the Guam Chamber of Commerce to tell us that raising the minimum wage to above $9 an hour to $9.25 an hour, maybe even $10 an hour, somehow will harm families. What they're not telling you is what families they're talking about. Maybe they're talking about the families that reap from the profits of these corporations already. Those who belong in the 1%, those whose profit margins will be affected by an increase in the minimum wage to $9.25 an hour that would go to pay for people's employment, like hotel workers, like those in the retail industry, in the services industry, who number, in the hotel services industry, there are some 5,600 workers, according to the latest current employment survey from the third quarter of 2018. In the services industry, some 16,000 workers, and in the retail industry, some 15,000 workers. So already that's 31 plus just about 6, 37,000 out of 70,000 workers, the great majority of all workers combined, definitely about 70% of the private sector workforce, who on average would be impacted by a minimum wage increase to $9.25 an hour. And the Guam Chamber of Commerce is going to get involved in that. Of course they would, because let's face it, they serve their own personal interests. These are the large corporations of this island who like to get involved when it suits their needs. They don't just get involved, but in a very corrupt kind of way. They line the pockets of politicians like Senator Amanda Shelton, and they get to dictate policy in that way. They let the pocketbooks talk. And that is most unfortunate for this island, and it's what has been going on, and it's what really needs to stop if we're ever going to see real change and lasting change that means anything for people, for the regular people, for the 37,000 who on average live on a wage that is below $9.25 an hour. There was a representative in the U.S. House of Representatives who actually charted this out in a nice way with the chief executive of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank before a House committee meeting in Congress. And why don't we play that footage, the J.P. Morgan Chase footage, Chalu?
Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall. This is a budget problem you cannot solve. You're an expert on financial statements, and you run a $2.6 trillion bank. I know you're good at numbers, and you've shared lots of opinions recently about how the U.S. should budget its resources, how families should budget their resources. And so I'd like to ask for your help on a problem. I went to Monster.com, and I found a job in my hometown of Irvine at J.P. Morgan Chase. It pays $16.50 an hour. And so I wondered if I could, if you'd indulge me, when you do the math on this and you do the $16.50 out at 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, it comes out to an income of $35,070. Now this bank teller, her name is Patricia. She has one child who's 6 years old. She claims the one dependent after tax. She has $29,100. We divide that by 12. She rents a one-bedroom apartment. She and her daughter sleep together in the same room. In Irvine, California, that average one-bedroom apartment is going to be $1,600. She spends $100 on utilities. Take away the $1,700, and she has net $725. She's like me. She drives a 2008 minivan and has gas. $400 for car expenses and gas. Net $325. The Department of Agriculture says a low-cost food budget, that is ramen noodles, a low food budget is $400. That leaves her $77 in the red. She has a Cricket cell phone, the cheapest cell phone she can get for $40. She's in the red $117 a month. She has after-school childcare because the bank is open during normal business hours. That's $450 a month. That takes her down to negative $567 per month. My question for you, Mr. Diamond, is how should she manage this budget shortfall while she's working full-time at your bank?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Would you recommend that she take out a J.P. Morgan Chase credit card and run a deficit?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Would you recommend that she overdraft at your bank and be charged overdraft fees?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
So I know you have a lot
I'd love to call up and have a conversation about her financial affairs and see if we can be helpful.
See if you can find a way for her to live on less than the minimum that I've described.
Just be helpful.
Well, I appreciate your desire to be helpful, but what I'd like you to do is provide a way for families to make ends meet so that little kids who are 6 years old living in a one-bedroom apartment with their mother aren't going hungry at night because they're $567 short from feeding themselves, clothing them. We allowed no money for clothing. We allowed no money for school lunches. We allowed no money for field trips, no money for medical, no money for prescription drugs, nothing. And she's short $567 already. Mr. Diamond, you know how to spend $31 million a year in salary, and you can't figure out how to make up a $567 a month shortfall. This is a budget problem you cannot solve.
So that's an example of what happens when decent people with common sense and reason stand up to the corrupt corporate interests of Washington, D.C. and Hagutnia. So that's all we have for tonight, folks. From Hagutnia, live at Kandit News Studios. Have a great night. Have a safe weekend. We'll be back tomorrow night.
That's all.
Union, which exposed the
That's all.
exploitation.
That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all.